Today we commence the observation of Agriculture Month 2021. I want to recognize the contribution of our farmers, fisher folks, agribusinesses who toil and labor every day to ensure we have food available and accessible. You are helping to build a strong and diverse Guyana. We observe Agriculture Month under the theme Transforming Our Agriculture Systems, Achieving Food and Nutrition Security. This theme is quite appropriate given the dire need to change our agriculture and food system so that it addresses the many food security challenges encountered due to the COVID-19 pandemic since March 2020 and then the unprecedented floods in May-June 2021. During October, we join in with the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization to celebrate World Food Day on the 16th of October under the theme Our Actions Are Our Future, Better Production, Better Nutrition, a Better Environment, and a Better Life, reminding us to choose food that will positively affect our health and our planet. This choice will ultimately impact on the way our agri-food systems work. As we look to the future, Guyana will emerge as an oil-based economy. However, agriculture will remain the bedrock and a key sector in our economy. Our vision for the agriculture sector is to have a competitive, dynamic, and diversified, environmentally sustainable agri-food system by 2025. To achieve this vision, the agriculture and food system sector in Guyana must be repositioned and transformed to build a diversified and competitive agriculture sector with increase in production and exports and reduction in food inputs. To address the impacts of climate change with resilience infrastructure by improvements in drainage system, farm-level risk management system for rice, livestock and cash crop farmers, and implementation of National Mangrove Management Action Plan. To increase access and satisfaction in agri-service delivery, especially extension services, and to enable agribusinesses to access markets by improvements of the ease of doing business, environment and implementation of traceability system for crops and livestock. I believe if we focus on these four priorities, we will begin to modernize the sector, to change the image of the sector, and to start the transformation process. Guyana's agriculture sector has suffered from the economic shocks caused by COVID-19, as stated above, and the floods of May, June of this year. Our farmers have been greatly affected. As a relief mechanism, the government has begun the distribution of the cash grant to persons who were affected by the flooding. To date, over 27,000 crops, livestock farmers, and households were affected, and we have started distributing assistance. Additionally, the Ministry of Agriculture will be providing assistance through genetic improvements, drainage and irrigation work, technical support, and extension services. We need forward-thinking, game-changing approaches for the agri-food system transformation. Everyone has a role as we diversify and de-risk the agriculture sector. Today, Guyanese agriculture is greatly productive, largely due to the resilience of our farmers and fishers. However, to move to the next level, we cannot keep doing agriculture the way it has been done over the years. We need to be more innovative, to have a high uptake in technology that will transform and modernize our food system. We need the private sector also to be prepared to buy local and reduce imports of similar products. As a country, we are importing too many commodities that can be produced locally. Transforming the agri-food system will require significantly greater public financing as well as private capital from national, regional, and international partners. International support, institutions, and bilateral partners will be critical to ensuring a more resilient agriculture sector through financing, technology, and creating an enabling environment. The government of Guyana stands committed to ensuring that the right solutions are implemented. The government will continue to work to ensure that Guyana's agri-food system is resilient and sustainable, and that we are not only food secure, but that we continue to be a leader in agriculture matters and eventually the food basket once again of the Caribbean. As in 2020, we are observing Agriculture Month in the midst of social restrictions caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. Therefore, many of our activities this year again for Agriculture Month will be held virtually or in limited small gatherings in regional outreaches. I join with my colleague Minister of Health and plead with our citizens to protect yourself by getting vaccinated, keeping your mask on and social distancing as we combat COVID-19 together. We look forward to the participation of all our partners as we celebrate Agriculture Month 2021. Ladies and gentlemen, let me wish you a bright and successful month of activities. On behalf of the Ministry of Agriculture and the organizer, I wish you a happy Agriculture Month 2021. Thank you for your attention.
Welcome to another special program in which we showcase the activities scheduled for Agriculture Month 2021. We have with us the agencies of the Ministry of Agriculture, and today we're showcasing the Guyana School of Agriculture, the Pesticides and Toxic Chemicals Control Board, and Hydromet. I'd like to welcome you all here to this special preview of things to come in Agriculture Month. It's always a pleasure to be out here with you guys, listening to all the plans you have for your sector, or your particular areas of responsibility. We have with us Mr. Greenidge from the Guyana School of Agriculture. We have with us Ms. Tricia David Garnath, the CEO, the registrar, of the Pesticides and Toxic Chemicals Control Board. And we have Dr. Cummings from the Hydromet Service. Welcome to this program. We'll start with Mr. Greenidge to share with us some of the activities that you're having for Agriculture Month over at the School of Agriculture.
Our activities will be done virtually because of the COVID-19 pandemic, and we have quite a number of presentations this year, like last year. Our feature activity though is our graduation ceremony for the class of 2021. So it will be done virtually, and that's our feature activity.
And when is that scheduled for?
And it's scheduled for the 22nd of October. We have other activities targeting other stakeholders, including the students, agro-processors, and farmers. If I can just name a few of them, we have a presentation on technological advances in agriculture, and we're targeting it's more than one group: farmers, students, youths, all the youths. We're also trying to target the persons who we want to come to the institution, the students from the secondary schools, the third and fourth forms. So we are having a presentation on careers in agriculture. We're trying to get them to come into agriculture. We are also working, we're going to work collaboratively with our sister agency, the Guyana Marketing Corporation, to do some presentations for the agro-processors, which include product development, including, that's one. We're talking, the other would feature good manufacturing practices and HACCP, and also looking at packaging and labeling. And we also are targeting our dairy farmers and other farmers who are interested in dairying. We're going to have a presentation on aspects of dairy production.
And this is being done how? Virtually, or you
all
have small
virtually,
sessions?
all virtually.
Okay.
All right. So we'll have all the passcodes and the IDs so that persons wishing to, log into whichever program they want to, they can do so.
All right.
All right. Let me see if I miss any other important one here. And we'll have a number of promotional activities on radio and television, also, promoting our school, what we do, and what gains we would have made over the years. So that's where we are for the month.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Tricia, you always have your week of your pesticides awareness week. I'm sure that you're going to be having that, but what form will it take this year?
Yeah, well, thanks so much for having me on the program, first of all. We're always excited for Agriculture Month. And yes, because largely Pesticide Awareness Week is always kept within that month. And this year is going to be from the 24th to the 30th. And while, yes, COVID is there, we do have one face-to-face activity within that week, which is the graduation of those who would have been certified throughout the year at different stages to be pest control applicators in Guyana. So that's going to be one of our items that we're having during the week. But we wanted to ensure that at the same time we maintain our reach to our various stakeholders within that week. And the theme for the entire month focuses on alternatives to household and agricultural pesticides and those that are public health that are toxic, really toxic stuff. So during the week, for example, what we're going to do we normally have our secondary school program, which we would have always done face-to-face, but in terms of still reaching that audience, we are going to be utilizing the services of the Learning Channel, and we're going to be having a program there to ensure we're still touching that stakeholder base as well. And then we have a number of activities that's going to be happening on the radio and television, and a new feature that we added, given again the fact that we're in a space where you're not having so much face-to-face, is we're going to actually be having a trivia that's running the entire week. So you need to know your pesticides and toxic chemical stuff. You need to have knowledge on these products, the safe use, handling, storage, and so on. And you have an opportunity to win something as well. And so that'll be happening throughout the week, spread out during certain times of the day, on the television, on the radio, so you'd be able to call in, and if you're lucky, you're gonna. But you first, of course, have to have the knowledge. And so what we're going to be doing starting in the month is we're going to be providing a lot of information for the public using the print media, television, radio as well. So you're going to be getting that baseline starting in the month. But we're starting the month with a key program, which is going to be a training for our customs and trade officers. They're the first line of defense when it comes to what comes into Guyana in terms of pesticides and toxic chemical. And that's happening actually on the 1st of October. And so we're starting the month with that program. And we're going to be having some 70-something persons being trained in that program as well. We also have a program that's going to be reaching out to the Guyana Police Force during the month. And our big ticket item happening in terms of the pesticide users is we're relaunching within that month our pesticide storage cabinet distribution program for the next 5 years. And so for every year for the next 5 years, we're going to be doing 100 storage cabinets for pesticide users across the country. So this is going to be farmers in agricultural communities who will benefit, and that's going to be launched within the first week. And then what would happen is throughout the balance of the month, we will have programs where there's going to be training, and they will have an opportunity there to receive these storage cabinets, which we will then monitor their use and so on. And that idea of that program comes from the idea of promoting sound storage practices. We've seen, while pesticides are beneficial to the agriculture sector, we've seen the dangers associated with their use and the risk. And we're also knowledgeable of what's happening in terms of suicide in Guyana, where in a lot of cases pesticides are used for that purpose. We're going to be teaming up actually with the Ministry of Health as well on that program. They're going to be a part of it as well, and that's going to be happening a little later in the month as well. So there's going to be an added boost to what we were already doing in that regard. So that's one of the things that's going to be a big item for us. Farmers are eager. I know they're excited. We've done this program before. We would have had a survey that was done to look at the effectiveness of it, so we know the benefit, the gain that we're looking for it was achieved. So we're looking forward for the next 5 years to kind of strengthen that same promotion of sound practices, the way they store in the agriculture sector in terms of the pesticide users themselves. In addition to that, one of our newest stakeholder group has been the toxic chemical sector, and this spans a number of industries. We've got the mining, we've got oil and gas, and one of the things that is becoming very prevalent or very recognizable now for Guyana with all these chemicals that are coming in for toxic chemicals for oil and gas and these different sectors is the need for persons to be trained. And so during the month, extensively, we're going to be having stakeholder training targeting some more than 300 persons from different companies across country from all these various sectors. And we're continuing to work to ensure that not only are they trained, but we're going to be launching a certification program even for those who are transporting these chemicals. If you look on the roadways now, you see a lot more chemicals being moved, again, because of the influx that's coming in with oil and gas. And so what we want to ensure is the regulation is implemented in a phase where the persons who are driving these vehicles, first of all, they're trained, they're certified, they're knowledgeable of the cargo they're carrying. The vehicles are equipped with relevant PPE and tracking devices. So should there be an emergency, you're able to adequately respond. So we're going to be launching that program as well very soon in the month. And so we're looking forward to having that actually start on board officially come January 2022, but we're launching it in the month, in Agriculture Month as well.
I want to thank you, as usual. You have quite a lot of activities arranged, and these are all going to be COVID friendly and so
Correct.
on. Thank you for taking the time to sit with us. Doc, Hydromet has been in the news recently, not for good reasons, but every time you came on television and tell us there was more rain, the farmers were not happy. But I'm sure you've got some good news for us for some of the activities you've got planned for the month of October, Agriculture Month 2021.
Thank you, Christopher, and happy Agriculture Month to all of the viewers. Hydromet again is happy to be celebrating with the rest of the sector and the rest of the country Agriculture Month. As you know, Hydromet's main role in the country is to provide support services, including in the agriculture sector. And you're right, we are in fact going through unprecedented times with regards to weather. We've just had the May-June rains and unprecedented floods across the country. So Hydromet, in keeping with the COVID guidelines, would want to, like our partners in the Ministry of Agriculture, to ensure that all activities are within the COVID guidelines. So we are going virtual again this year. But we really want to focus this year on public awareness and public education, specifically focusing on the young people. So we want to really have young people understand weather and climate variability and its impacts on lives and livelihoods as well, including agriculture. So what we're going to be doing this year are three things I believe that will address this issue with young people. Is to have them involved in art, so they can basically paint depictions of the May-June rains and its impact on agriculture, on any infrastructural project. We also having the older children, maybe the 13 to 17-year-olds, focus on essay and weather and climate variability and the resilience of the Guyanese population, or perhaps the risks, vulnerability of the Guyanese population with regard to weather, climate, and in this case as well, water. In addition to that, for the young adults, we have a photography competition. As you know, the Hydromet annual calendar, farmers calendar, is quite popular. So we want to have some images coming in from the public really to have a calendar that really reflects all of Guyana and what people would have been experiencing across the country, the impacts of weather and climate and water across the country. So that is the focus with respect to public awareness. The other thing that we want to do is to continue to strengthen the science of hydrometeorology in the country and to encourage young people to take up hydrometeorology as a career path. So we'll be in fact hosting a virtual open day where young people from across the country, from across our secondary schools, primary school, even university, can have an insight into hydrometeorology and the career paths that are possible within the science and its disciplines. So that event will basically showcase all of the technical sections within the hydrometeorological services, including the agromet section, so that young people can be aware of the work of the hydrometeorological service, but not only the work, but perhaps also the gaps that are existing nationally and where they can fit in and support this work. And the big item for us this year is media sensitization. The unprecedented floods that we've had this year underscore the need really for not only the education of the wider public, but also our partners in the media houses to ensure that the information that is being shared, that is being disseminated across the public spectrum is really accurate and represents what the weather would do in any particular geographical space. So we really want to work with media houses, with all partners in the media to ensure that the information that's being conveyed to the public does not cause unwanted stress, especially in the time of COVID-19, to ensure that the information that's being disseminated is accurate. Additionally, the weather on television, we've had this off for several years now. It's another way of us being able to communicate and disseminate weather information to the public. So we've been working with NCN to have the weather on television again. So in the first week of October, we're hoping to have this relaunched so that we can reach a broader spectrum of the Guyanese population to ensure that weather and climate information is accessible and we can support decision making. From the National Ozone Action Unit side, September 16 was actually International Ozone Day, so we've had a number of activities centered around that day. And we've had, over the past couple of months, virtual training for technicians with regard to the use of new technologies in the refrigeration and air conditioning sector. They've been trained to use new technologies, to retrofit equipment to utilize the new technologies. So we will be, in fact, next week, that is in the first week of October, we will actually be hosting a graduation ceremony for these technicians who would have graduated in the new technologies. So I think that puts a wrap on what we're doing at Hydromet for Agriculture Month this year.
Well, I want to thank you for taking the time to come chat with us about the program of activities for Agriculture Month. You know, strangely enough, people actually look forward to Agriculture Month being able to interact directly with the various agencies of the Ministry of Agriculture. I know you all take your message out into the fields. This year it's going to be slightly different. Last year it was also constrained, but you know, people are getting accustomed to the new form of interaction that has been forced upon us by the realities of COVID. So I wish you all the best on this month of activities, and for those of you, you'll stay tuned to social media, to your local television stations and radio for schedules of the events as they occur for the various agencies of the Ministry of Agriculture. Remember, our theme for this month is transforming food systems and ensuring food and nutrition security in Guyana. I want to thank you for staying with us, and stay tuned as we continue to bring you programs and updates on the activities scheduled for Agriculture Month.